Let's talk about the importance of productivity strategies. Quite often, we sometimes undervalue productivity strategies, or we don't fully understand how to implement them in our daily productive lives, in particular when it comes to work and in the workplace. And in particular, productivity strategies become a very crucial skill set when it comes to neurodivergent talent. To understand this, we need to first go back and take a look at an understanding of what are spike profiles. Spike profiles are a very crucial tool for employers and managers to understand where talent has their strengths and where talent has their challenges and where they need to be supported. Think of valleys and hills. With neurodiverse talent, they're going to have not valleys and hills, they're going to have mountains. A mountain where they're very strong in, say, problem solving or being creative. And then they will have that huge valley that leads into their challenges. Say, for example, time management, prioritization, um, being able to focus. All of these are particular challenges. And with understanding a spike profile, employers and management knows how to guide and support talent strengths and know how to guide and support their particular challenges. And this is where, in the challenges, where productivity strategies are a very crucial skill set. Now, you notice that I've said skill set twice now. We fail to realize that productivity strategies is actually a skill set to be learned, to be practiced, and to be mastered. And quite often, you may hear a manager say to a neurodiverse talent, or any particular talent, frankly, that you need to create a to-do list to manage your time. Well, it's very easily said, isn't it? Especially when we fail to realize that it's an actual skill set that needs to be learned, needs to be practiced, and needs to be also enforced and held accountable. So that requires management to become aware of the fact of being trained themselves on what the productivity strategies are, on how to pass on knowledge in teaching those productivity strategies, to allow the practice of those productivity strategies, and of course, to encourage and hold accountable. Now, that also takes into account that many neurodivergent talent are currently in the process of learning and practicing those particular productivity strategies in their daily workplace, in their daily tasks. And of course, they're looking over their shoulders of whether or not this is going to be acceptable and whether or not they're going to be questioned by management on what they're doing and how is that really being productive. Why can't they not be focusing on the work? So let's say, for example, the performance of the Pomodoro method, where you're taking deep, strong concentration of 25 minutes on a task, and then you take a 5-minute break. Now, a 5-minute break can be going out for a walk, making yourself a cup of coffee, or maybe just responding to emails and then going back for another 25 minutes to that task. When they take that 5-minute break, it's important to allow them to take that break. That break is there for a reason, not to question them of why they're perhaps getting up and down, going from 25 minutes and then taking 5 minutes to go for, let's say, a walk or make themselves a cup of coffee. It's understanding they need to take that mental break. So we need to allow them to practice and to encourage that method, because in the end, it's about getting the best out of that individual and creating the right environment where they can succeed. And part of that environment is those productivity strategies. Now, lastly, productivity strategies is a great skill set to learn and to encourage. Now, lastly, this leads into where they're going to eventually fall off the wagon. And when we say fall off the wagon, we're referring to performance inconsistency. This just doesn't relate to productivity strategies, it can relate to other aspects of work or daily life. This is where, whether unconsciously or consciously, they're having difficulty in being consistent with their performance or following through, in this case, in regards to a productivity strategy. Can be quite often out of their control, and they're struggling to get back to be consistent. So we need to allow them grace when this occurs, because again, it's something that can be quite out of their control. So it's important to understand that and give them grace, give them breathing room, let them know their value, help them and guide them to get back onto that wagon to perform consistently.